Hey, I'm Wilson Wong.
I'm Big John Zhang.
Hey, Big John, do you know where is Heng Chuen?
Yes, of course. What happened?
Do you know that in recent years, flooding has inflicted substantial damage to Heng Chuen during heavy rainstorm and typhoons?
Do you mean the most destructive incident in Heng Chuen, which caused by Typhoon Heng recently? It results in the submersion of more than 20 cars inside an underground car park, while sea tide swelled up to 3.5 meters on the coast and water surged out from the inner street underground.
Yes, exactly. In order to investigate the root cause and the usefulness of existing measures, we have sent out our reporter Doris to do the site visit in Heng Chuen, and now we will pass to her to analyze in details.
Thank you, Big John and Wilson. We are now at Heng Chuen, and let's interview the residents to further understand the situation of flooding. During interview, we found out that the residents have insufficient knowledge of flooding prevention, which reveals the lack of public awareness of risk reduction. They also mentioned about the problem in underground car park and waterfront. So as mentioned, from here we can see that only big rocks are placed along the waterfront. So the effectiveness in preventing seawater intrusions and blocking highways are really questionable. So we are now at the underground car park in Heng Chuen, which was completely flooded when the Typhoon Heng attacked Hong Kong on August. So this is the first and the second drains in the car park. Getting closer, we can see that the drain is too shallow for preventing water flowing into the car park. So let's walk inside and have a look. So here we can see the third and also the last drain in the whole underground car park. We can see that the size of the drain is only as large as my hand. Also, the lid was rusted, which reveals the problem of no regular maintenance. This is the report from Heng Chuen. Doris, Able TV.
Thank you, Doris. We can see that in Heng Chuen there is geographical disadvantages as well as the measures are insufficient. So its risk of disaster cannot be reduced. We have invited Professor Julian Lam from Drainage Service Department to explain to us. Hello, Professor Lam.
Hello, Wilson.
As we can see that the heavy rainstorm and typhoons always cause flooding and damage to Heng Chuen. Is there any possible measures to reduce the disaster risk?
Certainly, Wilson. Well, first of all, I would suggest a similar project to Happy Valley Underground Stormwater Storage Scheme. Why? Because Happy Valley is also a low-lying area, urban area surrounded by a hilly terrain, which is similar to Heng Chuen. And how does it work? During major rainstorm events, the excess runoff in the diversion box will enter to the pump house, and afterwards it could be pumped into the storage tank via the overflow weir system. The tank will be emptied by pumping or gravity draining to discharge the stormwater from the tank. Well, it is the cost is really high for this project, and it's difficult in implementation because we have to renew the existing drainage system in order to match the old drainage system. However, I believe this is very effective to the current situation in Heng Chuen. So I believe it is worth to be built in Heng Chuen. As for more detailed situations, such as the car park in Heng Chuen, well, I suggest we should build a drop-down water gate, which can act as a flood barrier that could be manually controlled by the management office or automatically when it detects a potential flood. This technology is still new to Hong Kong. However, and also it's expensive in price, but I believe that it could prevent economic loss to the residents, and we have to import it from the UK, the original country. Moving on to the waterfront in Heng Chuen, we should level at least a meter higher above the sea level, and it is feasible because the avenue in the waterfront is wide enough for construction without even affecting fundamental structures of the residential buildings nearby. However, it could irritate the residents living near the shore, as it could cause pollution or even blockage of scenery. On the other hand, we should also replace big, huge rocks with dolos. Dolos is originated in South Africa. It is a concrete block in a complex geometric shape weighing up to 20 tons each that can absorb and dissipate the energy of the seas. As 10,000 dolos is required for 1 kilometer of coastline, approximately 7,650 dolos are needed to be placed on Heng Chuen, and this could be effective in blocking the high waves and high tides during rainstorms. Lastly, we should also implement immediate warning systems such as flood sirens and public notice. Placing flood sirens on the waterfront can efficiently warn residents, and making public notice to the residents by the management office could allow the residents to engage in household flood prevention. So, well, this is the end of my part. Back to you, Wilson.
Thank you, Professor, for giving us these essential suggestions. We hope the government will pay more attention on reduction disaster risk measure and consider the above useful suggestions to improve the situation in Heng Chuen. Besides, the support of citizens are also an important contribution to the disaster risk reduction measures. Thank you for watching our show. It will be react on Wednesday lecture. Until next time, from the Able TV report team, good luck, goodbye, and good health.